Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yasharellah's 20-minute breakdown, where I will attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, let's give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kadash, and the Akims and the elders in the highways and byways, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, and the elder women teaching the younger women, and the brothers out there in the camps that's edifying the body, making videos and doing all they can to push this word in truth and sincerity. All praises to you all. Now, I'm going to touch on the book of John, chapter 1, verse 11. The one that says he came unto his own and his own received him not. I'm going to touch on that because there's this notion going around that the Messiah came unto his own, which were the Jews, and all the Jews rejected him. So, as the Jews rejected him, he turned to the Gentiles. That's the notion. But I'm going to put that to bed this evening. I'm going to show you through the scriptures that all the Jews didn't reject Christ. All of them didn't reject the one they call Christ. Yeah, you're going to see, he's going to be very plain. You're going to see who rejected him. And then on the topic of the Gentiles, I'm going to do a separate video on the Gentiles, just to show you who the Gentiles are according to the scriptures. Because that's all I go by, is according to what the scriptures say. So we'll see. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the lesson. I've got my timer set as always. And in 3, 2, 1, we're live. Right, let's go straight to the scripture. And we're reading the book of John, chapter 1, verse 11. And it reads, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. That's the verse. So you see, they stopped there. So to say, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. So he went to the Gentiles and started to receive them and graft them in. That's the perception. But let's read on further. Let's see if that was the case. Watch this. The book of John, chapter 1, verse 12. But as many as received him, to them gave he the power to become the sons of God, even to them that believed on his name. So you see, now that's already showing you that all the Jews didn't reject him. But let's read on further still. Verse 13. Which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. Okay, so you see, it's showing you the people were born of God. And what's that talking about? Yeah, let's find out what that's talking about. Let's go to the book of Romans. Let me read that one more time, just so you can get the point before I go to Romans. This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 13. So it reads, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. So he's saying that these people that believed on him was born by the will of God. Now let's see what that's talking about. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 9, and we'll go 9, verse 9. Let's see what that's talking about. And it reads, for this is the word of promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son. Verse 10. Then it says, and not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. So it's showing you the word of promise. So the word of promise is the will of God. So you see, the Most High God promised that Sarah was going to have a son. And then the Most High promised that Rebekah was going to have a son. And these are counted as the seed. When you read on further, you will see where it's going. But I just want to touch on that for now, just to show you what that verse was saying. Now, let's continue in. Let's see if he was still rejected of everybody. Because remember, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. But I've just showed you in the next verse, but as many as received him, he gave them power to become sons of God. Yeah, even to them that believed on his name. Now watch this further. We're going to go to the book of John. We're going to stay in the book of John actually, and we're going to go to 11 verse. We're going to go John 11 verse 40. We'll go to 43. Watch this. The book of John, chapter 11, verse. We'll start at verse 43, just so you can get the context of this. Now listen to this. Yeah. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. So now you see, this is when he was raising Lazarus from the dead. Now I'll read on further. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. The Messiah said unto them, Loose him and let him go. Verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which the Messiah did believed on him. So you see that? Many of them, they believed on him. Okay, let's further prove this again. Let's go to the book. We'll stay in the book of John. Let's go to the book. Let's go to verse 10 and 41. We'll stay in John for now. Listen to this. It's the book of John, chapter 10, verse 41, and it reads, And many resorted unto him and said, John did no miracles. It's there saying John, which is John the Baptist they're talking about. John did no miracles, but all things that John spake of this man were true. Verse 42. And many believed on him there. So there again, many believed on him. Do you see how it's very repetitive? How many is constantly believing on him? Many is believing on him. Yeah? Okay, now watch this. We're going to stay in John again. Just want to show you all this, that when you take that John 1:11, now you can see how many more scriptures show how many believed on him, and it's just repetitive. Watch this. John chapter 8 verse 30, and it reads, and it reads, as he spake these words, many believed on him. So again, I'm just touching those points where you see where many, when he speaks and he said certain things, many believed on him. Through time reasons, I can't go into the full chapter to show you what he was saying, why many believed on him. I'm just getting the key verses just to show you where many believed on him. Watch this. We're going to go to the book of Acts. Acts 21 and 20. Let's see what it says there. This is the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 20, and it reads, and it reads, and they are in chapter verse 21, chapter 20. I'm getting mixed up here. Let me start again. I'm going to the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 20. So lucky Israel. You know where sometimes it's kind of late right now. I'm kind of tired, but I need to get this done. Anyway, here we go. And it reads, and when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, which is Paul, they're saying unto, thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews they are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. So it's showing you how many thousands of Jews which believe, and they're all zealous of the law. Came unto his own, and his own rejected him, very interesting. Right, do you see that now? Okay, let's keep it moving. We're going to go to now, let's go to the book of Mark. Let's go to Mark. So I want to show you now. I'm going to show you now who rejected the Messiah. Let's go to the book of Mark, and we're going to go chapter 8 and verse 31. Now listen to this. Now I've showed you in many verses how much he was received and believed, and thousands of Jews. So all the Jews didn't reject him. Let's see actually who did. Now listen to this, because he knew who would reject him even before they rejected him. Now listen to this. This is Mark chapter 8 verse 31, and it reads, and he, this is the Messiah, and he began to teach them that the Son of Man, there you go, so you know it's the Messiah himself, Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and of the scribes and be killed and after 3 days rise again. Now you see, blatantly right there, he's telling you exactly who was going to reject him. It was the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes. That's who rejected him, not all the Jews. Now you see that? Now watch this. I'm going to go to the book of, let's go Matthew, and we'll start at verse 1. So you can, I just want to build a picture here. Now watch this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 1. And it reads, when the morning was come, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against the Messiah to put him to death. Now you see that? They took counsel and all that to put him to death. So he's telling you all who, who plotted his demise. And watch this even further. Look how bad the chief priests and the elders are. Watch this. I'm going to go to the book of John, chapter 12 and verse 10. Just watch this. This is the book of John, chapter 12 and verse 10. And it reads, but the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death. Yeah, you see that? They consulted to put Lazarus also to death. Yeah, and verse 11, because that by reason of him many of the Jews went away and believed on the Messiah. So you see, because of Lazarus being risen from the dead, now that made people believe. I mean, you imagine you see a man dead, and now you see the Messiah come and raise him from the dead. You've got no choice but to believe. You got no choice. To see that happen right in front of your eyes, you have to believe. You'd be very daft not to. I mean, what can I say? Now let's go on further. Now the thing about the Messiah, now they took him and they wanted to put him to death, but the Messiah, one thing about the Messiah, he wasn't going away all wimpy and scared. He was still strong in himself. Just listen to this. Could you imagine? Could you do this? You've been condemned and you're about to be put to death. But watch what the Messiah says, even though he knows what's going to befall him. Listen to this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse, we'll start at 53. We'll go straight in at 53. Now this is when they take him. This is when they've got him and they're condemning him. Listen to what he says. He says this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 53. He says, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? So he's saying to you, look, you've got me, but you think I couldn't pray to my Father and he would send 12 legions of angels? So he's showing you that you've only got me because that must be. And then watch this, verse 54. Then he says, but how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? So you see, he knew it was written, it was of the Father. So he submitted and, took whatever they were to do. He let it happen. He didn't have to let it happen, see, because he told you straight. You think he couldn't pray to his Father? And then said he sent 12 legions of angels? You really think all them soldiers could have even battled one angel, let alone 12 legions of angels that he could have prayed for and had come down and get him out of that situation? But no, he said, but how would the scriptures be fulfilled if I was to do that? So you know what? Thus it must be. Right, so bear that in mind. Now watch this. I'm going to go to the book of Matthew. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 27, and I'm going to start at 17. Yeah, let's start at 17. Now listen to this. Yeah? Now, it reads, book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 17. And it says, Therefore, when they had gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or the Messiah, which is called Christ? So you see, Pilate is saying now, like, who should I release unto you? Because there was this custom that one should get released and one should be condemned. Yeah. Now watch what happens here. Yeah. So and now verse 18. Watch this. Yeah. Because watch this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 18, and this is Pilate now. For he knew that for envy they had delivered him up. So you see, Pilate knew it was envy why they delivered him up. They delivered him up to be crucified. That he knew there was no sin in the man. He wasn't worthy of death. But he knew that the chief priests and elders and scribes only delivered him up because they were envious of him. Why were they envious of him? Why did they deliver him up? Yeah? Watch this. I'm going to show you. This is the book of John, chapter 11. And we'll start at, let's have a look. Where should we start at? We'll start at 48. No, actually, we start at 47. Listen to this. This is the book of John, chapter 11, and we start at 47. And it reads, Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees and Salaki. Let's start again, 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. Verse 48. Then it reads, if we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Now that's why they delivered him up also, because they didn't want everybody to be believing on him. Because if they believed on him, the scribes and the Pharisees, where they sit in high seats and they're looked up upon as the Jews, because what happened is the Romans set them up to do a job. And if now everybody was believing on the Messiah, now the Romans would say, well, we set you up to do a job, you're not doing it. They'll take them away from their position, the position they love to be in, that high position, and they'll try to put someone in who they feel will do the job. So they didn't want to lose their position. It's clear. This is why you have to read the scriptures. Yeah. But listen to this. I'm going to jump down to verse 50. Now listen to this. Actually, no. I'll start at 49 just so you can get the context of this. This is John chapter 11 verse 49, and it reads, And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all. So you see, he rebuked them. And this is what he said. Yeah, verse 50. Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. So you see, now Caiaphas understood the prophecy. That's why he said what he said. He understood the prophecy. Yeah? Now check this out. Now, I'm going to go to 20. I'm going to stay in Matthew. No, I'm going to go to Matthew 27, and I'm going to read 27 and 20. Listen to this, yeah? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 20. And it reads, but this is when now Pilate now has been trying to get them to release the Messiah, but the elders and scribes persuade everybody to destroy the Messiah. But listen to this now, Matthew 27 and verse 20. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy the Messiah. Yeah. Right, see, that's that bit. I'm going to jump down quickly because my time is coming up very quickly. It's funny how time goes when you're having fun. Now watch this, yeah? And now I'm going to jump down to verse 24, and then it reads, When Pilate saw that he could not he could prevail nothing, but rather a tumult was made. He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. Now listen to this. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children. Now you see that? His blood be on us and our children. Blood of the new covenant. So you see, and that was the Jews saying his blood be on us and our children. Now check this out quickly. I'm going to go right back into time. Exodus 24 and 8. Listen to this. The book of Exodus chapter 24 and 8. This is when Moses had the children out in the wilderness, when we came out of Egypt and we was in the wilderness, and he was giving the laws to the Israelites. Listen to this. See if this sounds similar. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you concerning all these words. Now you see that? Moses took the blood and he sprinkled it on the people. Blood of the new covenant. Now what did they just say? The blood be on us and on our children. Okay, and I hope you've got some understanding from that. And with that, I can say this is Yasharella, timing out now. And as always, stay strong, Israel. Keep the faith and keep diligently learning and studying. With that, Yasharel, we out.